SVG-TV News for Tuesday, February 18th, 2025. I am Jennifer Richardson with the details. 3 years after the Richmond Quarry project began, Renew Construction and Industrial Equipment Limited is reportedly about 70% ready to commence full operations. However, several issues relating to the project have resurfaced, including concerns about its environmental impact and the relocation of farmers who were affected by the project. Larissa Pugsley-Kidd will tell us more about some of the issues and concerns in the first part of our extensive report on the project.
Several Richmond farmers who were displaced due to the Richmond Quarry project are still awaiting relocation. One of them is Don Small, who farmed in the area for more than 2 decades.
I don't know lot today. But they say me have to carry paper up a agriculture place and then go come and tell me where me forget. Me go get. But me have to pay $306.
Small, one of 24 farmers removed from the project site, says she was compensated EC $2,400, an amount she feels is insufficient.
Yeah, they've been paying me for them, but me tell them they not give me enough money. But they tell me me said it be warm because of plenty things I been got on the land.
Former area representative for North Leeward, Dr. Gerald Thompson, who has been involved in the relocation process, commented that he is aware of one individual who has not yet been compensated, noting that the delay was due to the person being out of state. Regarding relocation, he said that lands will soon be distributed to the remaining affected farmers.
These are persons who would have been not only displaced from the quarry site, but other farmers who had applied for land, and that even before Sufre, we were giving them the option of leasing land in this nice area beyond the Wallaby River.
Meanwhile, work on the project is ongoing, and project lead Kip Rose says 70% of the preparatory work on site is complete. SVG-TV News visited Richmond multiple times to better understand the scope of work being carried out. We spoke with Rose on our first visit about whether the project is in compliance with the agreement and the Environmental Impact Assessment EIA, particularly regarding the quarry's impact on the harvesting of tree, a local freshwater fish.
Tree is not being affected, I can say that clearly, because the river here is normally dry most of the times. The rain can be falling and the river will still be dry, because this river is actually the supply for Vinlek. So unless Vinlek has excess amount of water or the rain falls in excess, that's when you will get water coming down this river.
The EIA conducted in 2008 is the document being used for the quarry project. It was originally done for Carib Sand and Stone Limited for hard rock mining at Richmond. The document indicated that the Richmond River is not the primary area where tree is harvested. The document outlined that tree harvesting takes place mainly at Cumberland, Peterborough, Fitzhugh and Wallalaboo. It is estimated that around 100 people are involved in tree harvesting, collectively taking approximately £15,000 per year with a market value of EC $120,000. The EIA also notes that because the Richmond River dried up for a short period following the diversion of water to support hydroelectric generation by Vinlek, all aquatic life currently found in the river is of the amphibious type. Meanwhile, residents have also raised concerns that Renew Construction has been removing stones from the river, which they say could lead to long-term consequences.
Refrain from actually taking out the stones from the river. And if you have a EIA, it will tell them they cannot do that.
But as you can see, stones still in the river, never been touched, as I heard before, that we've been taking stones from the river. All the stones are still here. If you can take a walk along the river, you would realize that this river has never been touched by Renew.
In the 46-page EIA, it was stated that river training works should be carried out in the immediate vicinity of the quarry operation to stabilize the stream banks and facilitate the extraction of aggregate and debris when and where necessary. Rose clarified that the catchment was built to avoid runoff of water into surrounding areas, which will prevent any negative environmental impact.
What we normally do now, we would take the excavator and excavate any stuff That is it. So the pond is always at a certain level. So before the water gets to the river, it's filtered before it gets out the river.
SVG-TV returned to the area on a rainy day and observed that the river was muddy, with traces of sediment flowing downstream from the quarry's catchment area. Despite multiple attempts to contact the project lead on the issue, SVG-TV was unable to reach Rose. However, Dr. Thompson, who was area representative for the North Leeward when the EIA was conducted in 2008, provided an explanation.
As I said, there's going to be a berm that prevents any kind of water running. But anytime you have storms and rain, agricultural soil erosion always tend to come down to the sea.
Regarding exports, the RENU representative stated that at the time of our interview, the company had never exported stones except for 2 barges of stones delivered to the Kingstown Port Modernization Project.
We have supplied the port in Kingston. We have sent 2 loads. That's last year. We are expected to start supplying the remaining of the quota that they ordered from us sometime soon. So yes, you would start seeing more barges come in to load to go to Kingston again.
After our interview, a 3rd barge of stones was delivered to Kingstown. While some residents in Chateaubelair and Fitzhugh remain dissatisfied with the quarry project, some said they are not opposed to the quarry's operations as long as their concerns are addressed. For SVGTV News, Larissa Pugsley-Kidd.
The government of St. Vincent and the Grenadines is hosting a high-level delegation from Global Health England and NHS England as part of ongoing efforts to strengthen collaboration in the healthcare sector. The visit is aimed at furthering the exchange of knowledge and resources, as well as enhancing the quality of healthcare services across the country. At a news conference, Chief Nursing Officer Peggy De Silva discussed the SVG NHS England Managed Education Partnership. This partnership, which began in 2018, was expanded in 2022 to focus on enhancing healthcare training and workforce development for Vincentian healthcare professionals. She highlighted that the collaboration has been instrumental in providing local nurses and other healthcare workers with opportunities for advanced training and capacity building.
That MOU in 2018 that was signed was geared mainly to the recruitment of nurses. At that time, we had close to 200 excess nurses. We do know that the policy is that we train nurses, excess nurses, than we can observe in the system. However, we all know with migration and the global phenomenon that there's a gross shortage of nurses throughout the world, and St. Vincent and the Grenadines has no exemption. So in 2022, a revised MOU was signed to include a managed education program. That managed education program had several elements. One of the elements is a talent group, the observership program, the fellows program, and from the observership program, we would have had 2 cohorts would have gone off to Leeds teaching hospitals. We are on our 5th cohort of fellows. They come to St. Vincent and the Grenadines every 6 months to work on quality improvement projects based on our health priorities.
Chief Medical Officer Dr. Simon Kiza-Beach underscored the importance of the partnership with NHS England, emphasizing that it is a crucial aspect of the nation's health strategy to ensure healthcare workers are trained across various specialties.
This partnership is extremely important, especially for that reason. We know we need to improve in terms of our range of skills. We need to continuously build. As we said, we are also suffering from the we train and we lose, but we have to work around that. And just as any other Caribbean country at this time, we are battling the non-communicable diseases. We have increasing malnutrition in our children, but not malnutrition as in marasmus and underweight. We have increasing numbers of overweight children. And we all know that when a child is overweight, they're more likely to become an overweight adult who then has to deal with diabetes, hypertension, heart disease, and cancers.
In addition, Michelle Thompson, Global Senior Workforce Lead at NHS England, expressed her excitement about the partnership with St. Vincent and the Grenadines as the country's health services continue to evolve.
In 2018, the first Memorandum of Understanding between NHS England, formerly Health Education England, and the Ministry of Health in St. Vincent and the Grenadines was signed. This was truly a global landmark moment and the first time a partnership such as this had been developed. Since then, the global programme has developed rapidly. I've been privileged to be in this position since the very beginning. We've been able to see healthcare delivery firsthand. We've been to the hospital, the polyclinic, and to the modern medical centre in Georgetown. It's been really great to see the transformation of the system in St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
The visit also includes discussions on expanding training programs, improving healthcare infrastructure, and exploring new opportunities for mutual collaboration. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Foreign Trade and Consumer Affairs has announced the signing of agreements for 5 Quick Impact Projects, QIPs, between the Government of St. Vincent and the Grenadines and the Government of the Republic of India. The signing ceremony took place on Monday under the cooperation agreement. 5 community-based projects, each valued at US $50,000, will be implemented across St. Vincent and the Grenadines. A news release from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs stated that these projects aim to enhance public infrastructure, foster community development, and improve the overall quality of life for Vincentians. The selected projects include the gym at the Central Leeward Secondary School, enhancing sports and fitness facilities for students and the wider community. The rehabilitation of the Penniston Community Center, restoring a key space for community engagement and activities. The rehabilitation of the Daphne Community Center, improving access to a vital hub for social and educational initiatives. The completion of the Calder Community Center, ensuring a fully operational facility for community programs and events. The rehabilitation of the netball hat court at Edinburgh, promoting sports and development and recreational opportunities. The news release further mentioned that similar to the first set of quick impact projects completed in 2023, these new projects will bring tangible benefits to Vincentian communities, strengthening social infrastructure and enhancing the well-being of the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. His Excellency Subhash Prasad Gupta, High Commissioner of India to St. Vincent and the Grenadines, reaffirmed India's commitment to supporting small island developing states in their pursuit of sustainable development. He noted that the Quick Impact Projects initiative aligns with India's broader development cooperation framework aimed at fostering self-sufficiency and resilience in partner countries. Expressing gratitude to all stakeholders involved in the successful initiation of these projects, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Foreign Trade and Consumer Affairs indicated that implementation is expected to commence in the coming months. Regular monitoring will ensure the timely and efficient completion of the projects. Former President of the SVG Police Welfare Division and current General Secretary of the opposition New Democratic Party, Brenton Smith, has voiced his displeasure with the ruling handed down by the Court of Appeal in the vaccine mandate case. Smith was one of 9 respondents challenging the government in the vaccine mandate after being dismissed from his job as a police officer for refusing to take the COVID-19 vaccine. Speaking on the matter on Voices program hosted by Jomo Thomas, who was also one of their lawyers in the case, Smith expressed that many police officers had hoped the ruling would have gone in favor of the affected workers. He maintains that police officers, like other public servants, were essentially forced to take the vaccine.
Some persons within the police force were really hoping that we would have been victorious because they now were thinking about whether or not they can sue the government for basically forcing them to take the vaccine. And we must remember, in the police force, for example, there were about over 600 police officers who at the last minute took the vaccine because they were fearful of losing their jobs. And so
how many you said?
Over 600, you know, at the last moment. who would have taken the vaccine. And let's remember too, many of those persons only took one of the vaccine. You understand? And
Right.
some persons who were affected by the vaccine, they were so disappointed and annoyed that they really want us to win this case because they expressed, they would have taken it because of, the difficulties that it could have caused on their family if they didn't have a job.
Smith indicated that he has no intention of returning to work due to his involvement in politics. He said he continues to hold this position even after the Court of Appeal ruling and the call made by Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves for affected workers to return to their jobs.
I have, this year, July 15th, would have been 31 years for me in the police. So when I was dismissed, I would have basically had about 27 years plus. That's a long time for any person within a military or paramilitary organization to stand. And I think, though, that where I am in a political party, I am better poised to get rid of the ULP government so that we can relieve them from the pain and the suffocation of the people of St. Vincent and Grenadines. So I would prefer to stay here to fight that cause and to go back to the police force where it narrows my way of doing things. So I think I have a broader picture.
Another respondent in the case, Shefflon Ballantyne, has also stated that he is not accepting the Prime Minister's offer to return to his job. Ballantyne, who was a lecturer at the SVG Community College, maintains that he never voluntarily left his job and argues that the word abandoned is being used too loosely in the context of the law.
As far as we are concerned, we never abandon our duties unless that is corrected, unless the Prime Minister indicate that we never abandon our duties and that he is in fact or was in fact wrong in his assessment of our decision, and that we will be returned with all benefits intact, then we are placing ourselves in a position where there's a risk that such a thing can be repeated again. And to reapply, in our view, is to give credence to the original lie that we in fact abandon our duties. Because reapplying is as a result of you being fired. And as far as the government is concerned, you abandon your duty, then why should I reapply when you are the one who did the action to separate me from my employee?
Meanwhile, the Public Service Union, the PSU, is planning to launch a public education campaign following the ruling handed down by the Court of Appeal in the vaccine mandate case. President of the SVG Public Service Union, Elroy Boucher, said that a committee has been formed to craft the public education initiative.
Last week, we had a meeting to begin the planning stage, and we have put a committee in place that would come up with a number of ideas or proposals on which activity, what type of activity that we can engage in to firstly inform the members and educate not just our members, the public, because fundamentally what we have concluded, this matter even goes beyond the mere dismissal of workers. It is far deeper than that, one. And two, it's the amendments that were made to the Public Health Act is a present danger to all Vincentians.
The PSU president emphasized that the public needs to be informed about the position taken by the government through the courts concerning public health emergencies.
Stage per se, and it becomes the law of the land, and the appeals court more or less supports what the government did. It is basically saying that anywhere in the future, the entire Vincentian population is in danger with respect to their rights. That right is just literally gone. So part of our education has to be to point Vincentian in that direction to show the imminent danger that exists if this particular amendment stays on the books. It has to be repealed.
On February 12th, the Eastern Caribbean Court of Appeal delivered a judgment in the vaccine mandate case with a 2-1 majority ruling in favor of the government.